మిత్రులారా, బంధువులారా, మిత్రునాం, welcome to South Asia Maps. This is an education channel where your presenter Dr. J. Reddy will bring you diverse fields of knowledge, Indology centric and human ecology in the iconographic form, various abstract ideas into the iconographic form. I have human ecology series, that is the humans on the island Earth, the planet Earth, their interaction with the biotic things and abiotic things, and this is part 134, among which I have clubbed them nearly a dozen or so, certain presentations as a loss or sayings or findings or discoveries of certain prominent scientists. They may not be exactly the laws like in Newton law, etc. A broader idea that have a humongous impact on us. Some may not be directly related to the human ecology, but these laws operate on it extensively. So that part I am talking today. The point of today's presentation is law of compounding. That is a very big term or law of exponential growth. That's what in statistics or mathematics they we are not interested in that big words. If you know what is interest, interest rate or compound interest, that's all it is. You get the point almost what I would like to talk about today. The impact of law of compounding, law of exponential growth. This law was extensively popularized by Professor BartLett. All BartLett, that is Alan Albert Allen Bartlett popularized this law. After this presentation, you will get a great clarity of how it saves our daily lives and which are not aware of it. Mitranam, this is the our ecology series, and I have nearly we are now in 134 that and laws. Previously, three laws are Garrett Hardin's tragedy of commons, that is the commons is the grazing ground, and Bartlett's other law I have put it already. Food is made from oil. Humans are made from food. Essentially, a human being in modern time is nothing but a oil. And Dr. Carton's too many people, too many aspirations, too much myopia. And we just talked about Joseph Tainter's complex systems eventually has to simplify. That is simplification of the complex systems law. Present presentation is Albert's law of compounding or exponential growth. When I was, yeah, all this you can find at South Asia Maps JRD. There are more than 620 videos or so, and varied diverse topics you can see there. Each of them is a playlist, has a 10, 15, or 20 presentations. You can pick and choose your choice. And I forgot to previously when I was talking of Joseph Tainter's complex laws, I forgot to show his book here, New Studies on Complex Societies, Joseph Tainter. I should have shown that based upon his ancient and medieval civilizations, he wrote that book. It was a Joseph Tainter we have seen, and that is the complexity law. Now we talk about Albert's law, Professor Albert's law. The basic ecological aspects, mostly I talk about, come from Overshoot and BottleNeck book of Dr. Catton, and I add my own viewpoints to it, my understanding of the global system. And in this presentation, even though they are not exactly human ecology, I feel they are very correlated, but I am clubbing with the same human ecology series because now we are living in a mixed societies, military industrial complex societies, our socio political economic systems are mixed systems. Law of compounding, Professor Bartlett. So, Alan Bartlett or Albert Allen Bartlett 1923, 29, he passed away around about 11 years or so. He was a professor of physics at University of Colorado Boulder, that is in the Great Plains bordering the Rocky Mountains in the United States of America. Professor Bartlett is well known for exponential growth, popularizing arithmetics and population and energy. He lectured more than 1700 times since 1969 on arithmetics, population, energy. Exponential curve is a mathematical function. Exponential growth is a process that increases a quantity over a time at an ever increasing rate. It is a concept of doubling time. You need not be concerned about this technical lingo of this definition. Exponential growth means suppose you have $100 or 100 rupees, is a simple compound interest of 10. You start with 100, next year 110. You ignore the sum marginal amount, next year again becomes 120, next becomes 130 or something. That means it is a constant increase over the time constantly that have a serious impact. That's what the law of compounding is. That's what the law of exponential growth is. The deeper mathematical definitions, if you can know, understand, that will be fine, but absolutely not necessary to understand the concept and implication of this law we are discussing. The same information I have shown here. Take, for example, the problem of compounding is, let's say we started with 1 billion people. Then we have doubled it to 2 billion people. Then again doubled it 4 billion people, 8 billion people. Each, each time of doubling, the quantity of population is greater than the cumulative population. Cumulative population of preceding years are doubling. What does it mean? Let me explain. Let's say we started with 1 billion. Before that, you have to have half a billion. So you have 1 billion, it doubled 2 billion. Now we have 2 billion. That means this 2 billion is more than the previous cumulative population. 2 is bigger than, if you add 1, 1.5. That means 2 is bigger than 1.5. Next, we double to 4. Now, 4 is bigger than 2 plus 1, that is 3. We are ignoring zero point 0.5 here. 4 doubles to 8. 8 is bigger than 7. That means 4 to 1. That means today, as of 1818, our population was 1000 million, that is 1 billion. The year is, I just broadened it, that is just 3 4 years after Battle of Waterloo or so on, or third Anglo-Maratha wars in Bharat. So that year 2 3 is not that important. I made it very easy, you can understand. 1818 1 billion, 1919 2 billion. 1974, when Nixon quit his office in Watergate issue, 4 billion. 2023, that means almost penultimate time of President Biden's office, 8 billion. 8 billion we have means, let's say industrialization started 1800. By 1919 automobiles were there. At that time, less amount of oil was used by the people, less automobiles. Now we have 8 billion means this 8 billion people, even you count all previous cumulative population, we have more people on the planet earth now. That means difficult to provide even simple fossil fuel dependent automobiles for these people in the coming years. That's what it means. Each time population doubles, 8 billion, that is bigger than the previous cumulative population doublings. So this is a serious concern. So how does this affect us? It's a microorganism. You take a small flask and put the medium there, inoculate like a 100 to 100 bacteria or yeast, Microorganisms, they grow, they eat all the resources and consume, they pollute it, yeast with alcohol, and they will die and perish. Exponential growth of organisms. Compound interest is the credit cards, 18%, 25% also. Pyramid schemes, Ponzi schemes, you are going on, that is the initial investors gain at the cost of others. The nowadays modern economic growth is a compounding process, exponential. So you increase the population, you increase the GDP next year, you will increase the oil consumption next year, food production next year. This is all a compounding process. That means if you are feeding 8 billion people means that is lot hard than feed 1 billion people. Then the oil consumption. Round about 1917, there are 5 or 10 MBL, million barrels of oil used to be consumed. Now there is a 90 million barrels of oil. The population standard growth. These all are the serious issues associated with the law of compounding. I have talked some of these population related in my demographic playlist. You can look at them. That is the demographic population series. They overlap with some of these things. And our most important compounding our population growth. You see, 1818 there is 1 billion, 1919 2 billion, 69 3 billion, 74 4 billion, 87 5 billion, 2006 billion, 2011 7 billion, 2023 there is a 8 billion. Now 2024 there are around about 8100 million, 8.1 billion, because we are adding every year net 80 million people. Net means after taking away the deaths. So this is a very serious concern we should keep in mind. So I have discussed that elsewhere in the lot of population growth in the world and South Asia and Europe and so on. You can look at them at other presentations. That's what, and I will show you before I leave. This one, Dr. BartLett. His picture, he made more than 1700 presentations at audience and popularized this concept of compounding or exponential growth. Exponential growth curve. Like taking the chessboard and you take the one grain, then there are only 64 squares in the board. Put the two grains, they put the four grains, then put the eight grains. By the time you reach 64 grains, that is the compounding. You have to produce the amount of the rice round about 400 years just to fill that one. That means such amount of the rice will have never produced so far since agriculture done on the planet Earth. So that is about the compounding, Dr. Exponential growth curve and function of Dr. Albert Bartlett. So hope this will give you in a proper perspective. And next time we look at the Hubbard peak theory of oil, peak food, and peak development, and everything that is the peak. And if you like these presentations, Mitrana, you can post your comments or suggestions, and even you can share this information with your friends and coworkers, or even subscribe the channel. That will bring the knowledge, information in front of others and popularize the channel. Thank you very much, your presenter, Dr. Jared.